pretty
Yep.
tough. Let's go to this. Tom's kind of in this world, so maybe he's a good one to start it. College football to pay-per-view. Is this a possibility?
I'm stunned this hasn't happened already. So for those that don't know, I work in the world of professional wrestling. I have for 13 years between WWE and TNA. And professional wrestling, much like a lot of other combat sports, live and died on the pay-per-view model for a long time, and obviously got with things when it came to streaming platforms, that sort of thing. So subscriptions more became in vogue, but even the pay-per-view model, it still exists for these things. I am stunned it's taken this long for this conversation to come up. So again, I frame this based on my fandom as a Penn State grad fan. Am I going to pay the same to watch Penn State versus Nevada to open the season, which Penn State is a 43.5-point favorite, as I would pay the same to watch Penn State versus Ohio State in Columbus? Absolutely not. I would pay a lot more to watch Penn State play Ohio State. Okay, why don't they take advantage of that? I'm shocked you haven't seen instances where select programs have packages offered to fans of, here's the Alabama package, here's the Ohio State package, and it costs X per year to see this. Or you can do it a la carte, because if you can't catch one game, well, shoot, you can catch Penn State versus Villanova if you want for $2. But if you want to catch Penn State versus Oregon, $15. It sucks. I wouldn't want to see it go that way as a fan. But even John Skipper, the former boss at ESPN, was talking with Pablo Torre about this. He was like, yeah, it's a part of the reason why ESPN's monthly streaming package has gone up to $29.99. And then he's even said that, hey, there could be a situation where you're going to pay for the Red River rivalry, for instance, and that's $4.99, something like that. Honestly, these numbers at first could be very affordable. And then it's that competition of, do I pay a ticket to go to the game and all the costs that come with it? Or do I just sit on my couch in the comfort of my own home and I watch it just like I would watch a movie on demand? It's killing the theater business. I don't think it's going to really cannibalize the live event ticket business, because college athletics continues to do so well in that, almost a bulletproof marketplace in that respect. But I'm shocked that this hasn't happened earlier. And as a fan, I'm okay with it. I don't love it. I really would not like to start having to shell out more money, but I would be cool with being in a random part of the country and knowing I have access to my team. College football doesn't have that same problem that like the NFL does, that if you're, blackouts and that sort of stuff, it's pretty simple to get access to a lot of games now. But I think there's so many things they could do in terms of offering this. They can offer different commentary feeds, alternate angles, all sorts of packaging that these individual programs or networks could put out there. So I'm just shocked this hasn't happened earlier.
Tom, I want to throw up just of what you just said. Not because of what you said, but what'd you call that game between Texas and Oklahoma?
The Red River rivalry.
No, it's the Red River Shootout. Don't disrespect that rivalry ever again. It is the Red River Shootout.
Red River Shootout. Forgive me.
Continue to carry that. I don't care what the FCC regulations are. Listen, it's the nature of the business. It is. Whether or not you want to agree with it. Here's the bottom line. Why do we have conference realignment? It had nothing to do with the actual games that were being played for better expectations between matchups. It had everything to do with money. Some teams got offered more money to go ahead and join a conference, and it dissolved the Pac-12. Look at USC and UCLA. They got offered to go ahead and be a part of now playing in Piscataway, New Jersey, and State College, Pennsylvania, and Champaign, Illinois, because it was going to be a higher profit for them. And then Oregon and Washington signed on up when you watch as several teams decided to head on over to the Big 12. Why did they head on over to the Big 12? Because of the TV markets were better in the Big 12, going to play games out in Fort Worth and in Waco and in Cincinnati, Ohio. And so, yeah, is it going to hurt the scheduling a little bit? Absolutely. Is the travel going to be a little bit more daunting? Absolutely. But are you going to walk away with a bigger profit than staying loyal to a current conference that is dwindling away? Absolutely, you're going to earn more money. And that's the nature of the business at the end of the day. So you can't be arguing that. The problem is that, unfortunately, the people who are running college football don't care about college football. And they truly will never care about college football the way that the college football fan does. They care about the profits. They care about the money, and they care about the revenue, and they care about making their wallets a little bit more wide, and they're able to afford this vacation out in Bali versus going on a December weekend and a July weekend. That's what they care about. But they're the ones in charge. And if they see a value in allowing this to happen, which I think if they do, and it could be very small. It could be, hey, let's throw one game per year, $39.99. and let's see if we make a profit off it. And if they bring in $17 million in revenue, they'll say, okay, well, now let's do 2 games and we'll lower the price, but we'll see if we bring in a bigger profit. And if it continues to work, why are they going to change the model? Guess what ended up happening? We complained nonstop about the college football playoff expanding to 12 teams. We all still watched it. And for 3 weeks, the NCAA and the college football playoff and the television ratings, they had record-setting numbers because we were fully invested on different television markets. It's going to be the exact same thing. People who are running college football are not here to worry about what the fan thinks. They care about what do the markets and what do the networks think. And as long as the networks are on board with it, they're going to do everything in their power to bring in more money and more profit.
Here's the thing, not to cut you off, TJ. Here's the thing that is probably going to happen. So, for instance, ESPN, say they're offering you the Ohio State package for the year, and they also have ESPN Bet. Well, we can give you a discount on your package or a single game if you make a bet of this amount, and we'll give you X amount free, to bet and play with on top of that. It's all going to get tied in. It's all going to get exploited. It's not about what the fan feels and thinks. It's about how much the fan will pay.
How much do you lose in, there would still be commercials, but certainly the commercials would be cut down. How much is the pay-per-view? This is seriously me just asking because I'm ignorant to it. How much do you lose in advertising revenue by going to the pay-per-view model?
It's substantial. You do try and make that up in respect to what you're charging pay-per-view. You do try and then charge at a premium with advertising baked into the show. For instance, in most pro wrestling and combat sports broadcasts that are on pay-per-view, the breaks are just a little bit quicker, and maybe 30 to 60 seconds, something like that. And it's usually the promotion or the company doing some sort of internal advertising, like, hey, here's our next event, or here's our website where you can buy something like that. So you're sacrificing that, but you're also making it more exclusive. It's a bigger deal. It's a higher social media output on top of that, which is very, very important at this point in time. Everybody's talking about it. There's more of an exclusivity feel to that sort of event. So that's something you sacrifice and you play with. But even these combat sports entities that live and die within the pay-per-view market, they fit it in. If you ever watch a UFC event, the cage is littered with all these sorts of ads, those sorts of things. Those come at a premium based on pay-per-view versus something that's maybe on regular broadcast television or ESPN Plus. So it often gets balanced out, but it is that bet that you're making of, if I charge you, for instance, $39.99 or whatever that number was that Cole threw out there to watch Michigan versus Ohio State, I bet you'll pay that, and I bet more of you will pay that than I could go and get in terms of advertising dollars. And if you want to go crazy, you can really mark that up in terms of what you're going to go get from an advertiser or sponsor.
Yeah.